So if you want absolute maximum ballistic performance, you want to be able to hunt from 300 yards to 500 yards, or even, shoot targets at 1,000 yards and beyond, then these are going to be the calibers that you're going to want to pay attention to in order to achieve some of these results. Now, in case you don't know who I am, my name is Davin Sundvik with The Catch Today, and this is part of our Choosing the Best Rifle for You series. Now, when we're talking about maximum performance, these are not budget-friendly options. Now, when I say budget-friendly options, I'm not talking about the cost per round. I'm actually talking about the initial investment that it might take in order to get the appropriate setup for these guns. In order to maximize the value that you get out of these guns or these cartridges, you may want to spend as little as $1,500 on a gun. I've seen some of these target rifles, definitely, hit that $1,500 mark. And there's nothing wrong with buying a $1,200 gun that can do the job. However, I've seen plenty of rifles chambered in these cartridges that are appropriate for hunting and achieving the accuracy that you desire. And some of these guns can run well into the $2,500 and up mark too. And then you're talking about $1,000 optics, or even adding custom barrels, or just an entire custom gun. So the price point is not going to be the most efficient to start in. But if you're hand loading and you're going to be shooting in competitions, and you're going to be practicing at 10, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 rounds a year or more, hand loading in the ongoing expenses, you can get the cost per round quite low in some of these cartridges, even with amazing performance. So with that being said, without any further ado, let's get right into these cartridges. And the reason why I started with that is just so you understood the criteria for these cartridges. If you want to watch our video on best budget cartridges, definitely check that one out. It's going to be listed as part 2. So, getting right into the video. Wildcat cartridges are cartridges that are going to have better maximum point blank ranges. These are lighter, faster bullets, and so what it does is it allows you to hunt at distances of 300 yards or more, depending on the caliber, without having to change your point of aim. This is really important in hunting situations where you may not know the exact distance of the game. So some of the best lightweight Wildcat cartridges are cartridges like the 220 Swift or the 22-250 Remington. Now, these cartridges are, like I said, they're amazing for maximum point blank range, but they may not be the best target rifles at 1,000 yards. They're not going to recoil very heavily, and I would limit these rifles to deer-sized game and smaller. No reason why you couldn't shoot an elk with it and kill it. It just wouldn't be my first recommendation. However, on the efficient side of this category, you could choose something like the 6.5 millimeter Grendel, which can fit in the AR-15 platform, perfectly capable of killing medium-sized game. And, like I said, just a good all-around accurate cartridge for hand loading and even shooting out of bolt action guns and AR-15s. But it wouldn't be my first choice for hunting either. I think the 6mm Creedmoor or the 6.5mm Creedmoor both have some amazing downrange performance and the ability to have some of those high BC bullets. BC is just a measure of ballistic coefficient that allows your bullet to essentially deflect wind better and retain its energy at longer ranges. So whenever you're hearing about high efficiency cartridges, this is what they're talking about. How do I get better impact and harder impacts at long ranges, even with tolerating bullet drop? And then how do I maintain that bullet speed over distances of out to 1,000 yards? That way, when I'm shooting targets at 1,000 yards, I can have some reasonable expectations on where that bullet's going to be. These bullets going to have some of the best and lowest recoils. When I say best recoils, it just means it's not going to hurt as much. But as we get more capable in the cartridge, they are going to recoil a little bit more, but that's because they're designed typically for bigger game animals. Now we're going to move into some of the medium cartridges, right? These are definitely elk capable cartridges. While they may not be like my first choice I'd recommend, they are definitely capable, and there's no reason why you couldn't use them. For the maximum point blank range in this category, we're going to go with the 25-06. The 25-06 is actually going to have more downrange performance than even the 6.5 Creedmoor in a lot of circumstances, except for wind deflection at extreme ranges and the actual bullet impact at 1,000 yards is not going to be quite as strong. But most people don't hunt at 1,000 yards. So when we're talking about those hunting ranges, the 25-06 is going to hit harder than the 6.5 Creedmoor in that previous category, as well as it's going to have amazing performance as far as its ability to stay flat over short distances. So if you want to be able to hold on an elk, pull the trigger, and not have to worry about adjusting your sights, the 25-06 might be an amazing choice. Moving on to the efficiency side of this category of calibers, we're going to get into the 6.5 PRC, the 7mm PRC, and the 7mm 08. I think if you want a cartridge that's kind of like the best of all worlds, that's not going to be too expensive to shoot and reload, and also is not going to have insane amounts of recoil, I think the 7mm 08 is fantastic. It's going to be low cost to reload because it's not going to take a huge powder charge. But if you really need to push that bullet a little bit faster, nothing wrong with trying to use the 6.5 PRC or the 7mm PRC in order to be able to have harder hitting bullets or just better terminal performance at 1,000 yards without having to adjust for the effects of gravity on your bullet, because it just simply gets there faster. So these are going to be a couple of options as well. And again, the recoil on these is not like awful. It's just that, you know, as you go up in power from the 25-06 all the way up to the 7mm PRC, these rifles are starting to slightly increase in recoil, and these may not be cartridges that you want to shoot 1,000 rounds in one day. It might be that kind of cartridge that you can just use in general, and if you only had one cartridge, I would probably pick them in this category because they're just kind of versatile for a little bit of everything. But if you only did target shooting or hunting medium game, or you only did big game hunting like elk or bison or bear, these wouldn't be my first picks either. I would actually go into the next category, which is going to be some of our truly big game categories. Now, I'm not saying that all of these bullets are total, you know, bear stopping bullets here. But what I am saying is that these are some really performing cartridges that are very capable. No reason why you couldn't hunt brown bear or polar bear or bison with any of these cartridges. While there are some maybe more appropriate cartridges for those specific circumstances, these are all, like, if you're an elk hunter, these are all 100% elk capable. And if you're target shooting and you really do need like super performance and you're okay with a little bit more recoil out of your weapon, we're going to be able to have some amazing options in this category. Starting with some of the best maximum point blank range cartridges, we're going to go with 280 Ackley Improved. Now, the 280 Ackley Improved is a really balanced cartridge. It not only shoots at a great maximum point blank range, but it also shoots a high BC bullet that is capable of retaining its energy down range. A lot of people really say that this is an underdog cartridge or like an underrated cartridge, and I think I see why. However, there are a couple of cartridges on this list that do have better maximum point blank ranges. I wanted to mention the 280 AI is just one of those balanced cartridges that could have gone in either category. For some of the heaviest, hardest hitting bullets in this category, we're going to go with the 300 Win Mag. It's been around for quite a while, which has some advantages. You probably won't have to hand load it in this category in order to achieve the results that you want. Also, you can get the 7mm RUM, which is the 7mm Ultra Mag, or the 7mm Rem Mag. Both of these are also going to have great maximum point blank ranges, shooting lightweight cartridges at very fast speeds. But obviously, the bigger the caliber, the heavier it's going to be. So we're just saying light for caliber ratio. Next, we're going to move into some of the more like efficient cartridges in this category. We're going to go with the 300 PRC and the 300 Winchester Short Magnum. A lot of these bullets actually achieve very similar goals or results to the 300 Rem Mag, but the 300 PRC is just simply shooting a much faster bullet in the same category of gun, which is a long action rifle. Now, if you want to reduce weight and you still want the very, amazing performances that you can get out of the 300 Winchester Magnum, you can go with the 300 Winchester Short Magnum, or even a 270 Winchester Short Magnum, and still achieve some great performance, but in a total lighter weight rifle package. So there you have it. Here are some of the most efficient cartridges and some of the fastest cartridges in their calibers that you may want to consider if you're willing to spend a little bit more money on a rifle to be able to absolutely crush those those marketing objectives that a lot of people want to teach us that our bullets are so capable of. If you actually want to capture the value of these bullets, this is how you do it, and hopefully you got some value out of this video. Definitely leave a comment down below, because I'm going to be making more videos in this series. A lot of my videos are going to be more budget related, mainly because I know a lot of people are impacted financially and they still want to get out into the field. But if you're really hard pressed on hitting those targets at longer ranges, this video really was the instruction manual on how to get started with doing that. I do appreciate you for watching, and have a great day.